Hey everybody, welcome to Matt Men, your source for all things professional wrestling. I'm Andrew Zaire, and of course I'm joined by the whitest of the white, Rich Dambo.
Oh, buenos dias, bon dia, watashi way, ni hao. What's going on, everybody?
What's going on, man?
What's up?
I'm back.
Tandrew.
Tandrew
Zaire.
Holy moly, I worked really hard on this tan. Very hard.
I know, you were sending us
see?
pictures. Yeah, let's see it again. Oh my god.
Look at that.
Pull it down.
little quick peek.
Pull it down.
That's for the OnlyFans. No, man, I spent a week in Jamaica. It was excellent. I had the most relaxing time reporting everything that was happening from the beach.
Jamaica Queens.
I literally went up like one exit on the cross island, and I just laid on the street. People were like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm tanning. What do you mean?"
I'm tanning, baby.
Yeah. I bought a couple mixtapes and a couple T-shirts, and I went to the store and I bought myself, sandwiches. It was the best time in the world.
Did you ever, those guys that try to sell you their CDs? Did you ever feel bad and give the guy money for a CD?
I got ripped off on by the way, I got a great rip-off story on Jamaica Avenue, but $49.99.
Wrestling News Company.
WrestlingNews.co. Listen, great website here. Those guys have been great, really supportive, always crediting us. Let's give them a little shout out here. WrestlingNews.co. Go check them out. It's a beautiful, clean layout, which I absolutely love.
Thanks, guys. Much appreciated.
Yeah, very much appreciated, guys. I did get ripped off. I bought a Cannabis versus was it Cannabis versus Fabulous?
Okay.
I bought a mixtape.
And
it was not that.
It was just a dude going.
It was like somebody recorded the radio and then would scream his like DJ name.
Okay.
Every couple minutes. I also bought.
No thanks.
What came after It Was Written? Illmatic. It Was Written, and whatever that third Nas album was, Nostradamus or whatever it was.
Yeah.
I got ripped off on that. I bought the CD thinking it's a legitimate one, and it was just like a demo reel of like some of the songs.
Okay.
Somebody recorded when he was in the studio.
Wow.
So I did get ripped off on Jamaica Ave. I also would buy my Dragon Ball Z dubs.
On Jamaica Ave?
I bought the best Dragon Ball Z dub I've ever... Did I ever tell the story about this?
No.
It's a Madman After Dark one.
Okay.
Actually, I may have told the story. I don't... I'll talk about Madman After Dark.
Cheers.
I'll save. Cheers, guys. Listen, I'm glad to be back. Listen, a little chit chat here. I haven't seen Rich in a week. Sorry, I'm not getting to any of the news yet.
Don't apologize.
Listen, man, I'm having a lot of fun. Listen, here's a good one. Have you ever been to the Combination Pizza Hut and Taco Bell on Jamaica Avenue? I have not, because that did not exist when I was younger, and I used to go and hang out there.
Those came into existence when I was like almost 20, I think.
Yeah, I was a bad teenager.
Yeah.
So a lot going on. Obviously, I was on vacation, and a lot of news broke. I don't know where to begin here. I missed a lot of stuff. I just want to say this. And MG Geek wrote to me. He's like, "You took the worst freaking week to go on vacation, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, dude." I'm like, I don't know. A lot of this stuff was coming out, but there's a lot of news, and I guess we'll start off with the latest one as of last night, which this came out of nowhere. It's funny because generally, sometimes there's like a little give when I know something is about to come.
Yeah.
And this week, 3 times I was asked by somebody via DM, "Hey, are the cuts coming this week?"
Okay.
And one of them is somebody that I talk to all the time, and I try to put stories together, The other 2 were like randoms.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was like, okay, one guy.
A couple of randos.
One guy was like just a regular guy on the internet, and another one was interesting. I'm not gonna give away, but I looked at his stories and stuff, and I kind of pieced something together. I was like, okay, I didn't think much of it. And last night, you know what? Some of these names are very surprising. Some are not. But do you want to run down this list?
Yeah. Quick shout out to Badger 3499 saying, "Hey Foxy Mamas, hey, right back at you."
Listen, one of our OGs,
one of our long times.
All
right, this is pretty bonkies, right?
And if you want to pause, do you want to like after each name pause and see, let's break it down and see like
yes,
yeah.
Okay, so a lot of surprising releases during SmackDown. The news was released that NXT has let go one. I'm going to go backwards. Desmond Troy.
Okay.
Didn't really know the guy.
Okay.
Mercedes Martinez.
Surprised.
Very surprised.
Yeah, because they put effort in Mercedes. But Mercedes is, how old is Mercedes Martinez?
40.
Yeah.
She's close to 40.
That was an age thing.
Giant Zangier. I don't know who that is.
He was...
That's a great name, though.
Giant, what is it?
Giant Zangier.
Yeah, that's a great name. I don't really know much about him. I know that he was a signee that they really didn't use.
Apparently he was on the India special. Okay.
Yeah.
Asher Hale. I'm surprised about that because they just signed him, right?
Recently.
Yeah. Zechariah Smith.
Who is Zechariah Smith? Is that the referee? I think Zechariah Smith was a ref. I could be wrong.
I'm not sure. Again, Tyler Rust, who was in the Diamond Mine.
Is that over now? I mean, they just debuted these guys on Diamond. I mean, that whole gimmick was leading up for weeks.
So now it's just two guys and Malcolm Bivens.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Like,
Malcolm's great.
He's awesome. Like,
Yeah.
I hope they don't get rid of him, but Stephon Smith,
Okay.
Leon Ruff. I'm a little surprised by that.
Leon Ruff, I'm very surprised by.
Do you think?
You said Tyler Rust or no?
Yeah, I said
Okay.
Tyler Rust. Leon Ruff, I'm surprised by, but I always felt like he was their FU to Leo Rush.
You know what? In a weird way, I felt that too, and I
Yeah.
asked about it, and everybody denied it.
Yeah,
Everybody's like, "No, absolutely not."
because this is like the Leo Rush that played ball, same style, like very small, like smaller guy, U.S. champ, fluke win, etc.
I thought Adam Cole was texting me.
Hey man, can I come on the podcast?
Can I come on the podcast?
That's how we talk in real life. Kona Reeves,
Yeah.
I thought he was gone already.
No, I'm surprised about Kona Reeves.
Ari Sterling, he appeared on 205 Live.
205 Live, yeah.
Okay. Jake Atlas, I'm surprised by because I thought he was like one of their guys.
He was. Yeah.
Very weird. Bronson friggin' Reed, rumored to be called up. Bronson Reed.
Oh, he was getting called. They had plans already.
Dude, Bronson Reed, that guy was great. But you know what? He tweeted out, WWE just made a huge mistake. Watch out, world.
Yeah, pretty much.
So-
Pretty much that he sent that out. And Bobby Fish, which did you watch? Did you see Bobby Fish's match on NXT?
It was good.
It was weird.
He's a little older. I think that's why also.
Well, okay. So
Injury
let's
prone,
break this down.
Right.
There's a lot of stuff brewing in NXT,
Mhm.
right? Some of these names, obviously, they were just cuts because they didn't know what to do with them, and they're reshuffling NXT. Listen, I think that the concept of NXT was that they were developmental, and it seems like maybe they're taking that approach again. They're hitting the reset button with this brand because think about it. They put them on. They took them from. They were on the network. They were developmental. It blew up as with this cult following of wrestling purists and the hardcore fan, the non-disenfranchised fan, and even the disenfranchised fan discovered NXT and absolutely loved it. People discovered that, okay, you know what? This is closer to the professional wrestling that I am used to liking and I'm used to watching, so I'm going to watch it. And guess what? It was a 1-hour show. How bad could it be? It's a 1-hour show
right.
with great talent on it. And now it's a 2-hour show on USA. They were used as a defensive measure against AEW. Didn't really work out the way they had envisioned. By the way, I was also in piecing things together this week. In passing, that came up. I was like, well, what's the plan? Because there's a lot of changes coming to the TV, with a new look and new lights and stuff like that, which we'll go into. But they said, well, the expectations of NXT were much higher when they originally debuted on USA. When they moved to USA, they really did not expect AEW to hit those ratings because there was a media assessment on television at that point. With AEW going on TNT, there was a lot of people within the ad sales world and within, ratings and everything, the non-wrestling. This is all non-wrestling people. They started really hyper-focusing on analytics because there are ways you determine what your viewership is and what to expect and how growth will go based on other things. And AEW's number assessment was much lower. Not that they couldn't do it. It was just, this is where we believe they will be. This is where they should be. This is where they shouldn't be.
Right.
They everything was assessed. Especially in ad sales. And the same goes for AEW, for NXT. And NXT missed the mark. and AEW blew it out the water. I mean, that's the reality. And I'm not saying it as picking a side. I'm saying it as a property on television goes. I don't think people anticipated AEW to have the numbers that they did.
I think I agree with you, and we all know why. We all know why, right? Because when people try to make wrestling companies, it just doesn't work out.
It just doesn't work out. Listen, nobody other than Vince has been able to figure this out. And AEW still, they have not figured it out yet. They're working on it.
Yeah.
This is still very fresh, and I'm not saying it's, a honeymoon phase with a company because it's been here for over 2 years now, but you're still a new product and you're testing things out. Talk to me 5 to 10 years from now when you've done everything. Right?
I got a question for you now.
Yeah.
Okay, so Vince McMahon had I believe that conference call, right? And he made a weird statement in regard to AEW, and I'm paraphrasing here, basically saying, I don't know what their investment in talent is. Maybe we can give them some more.
So you could take that in two ways.
Okay.
One is that talent assessment that we've been talking about that I brought up over the last, I don't know, a couple of weeks. By the way, Ryan Martin, $9.99. Did you see? Yes, the NXT rebranding report. Yes, I'm going to go into that because I have some info on that.
We got another super chat question. We're going to save it for the end, right? From Cal W95, 5 liras.
Oh, 5 liras.
Thanks,
Thank
bud.
you. Turkish liras or Italian liras?
Italian.
Okay.
We will answer your super chat questions at the end, first and foremostly.
Yeah. So, where was I? Oh, the media, the talent assessment. Within sports, a lot of brands assess what your value is based on your performance. Obviously, that's a little bit difficult if you're not winning games, right? In WWE, it's mostly based on popularity and merch sales and ticket sales. So they have this combination of that they use, much like every other sports franchise, to determine if you're worth it.
Yeah.
How many shirts are you selling? How many tickets are you selling?
I wonder if there was do you think there's a stat of like one wrestler who's only ever sold one shirt?
Oh, they have everything. Oh, WWE is a genius when it comes to archiving everything.
Who's the guy you think only sold one shirt in his entire career?
Oh man, who would it? It would have had to be a early '90s to mid '90s guy.
Mordecai.
No, Mordecai definitely sold a bunch. He was. It would have to be like, I don't know,
the Barbarian.
I don't know. I could probably find out if it's been like their worst merch sales.
A Godwin. It has to be.
Has to be Phineas or one of them. So I was thinking Man Mountain Rock if he had a shirt.
Ooh.
I don't think he sold a bunch. So, there's actually a lot of these. There's a lot of suggestions here. So, I don't know if that's what he meant by what's their investment in talent. I don't know if he was talking financially. I don't know if he's talking with risk assessment on an investment on a talent, because that also comes into play, right? Bray Wyatt, which I was saving. Okay, let's go into this since we're talking about releases. Let me back up here with NXT. So I put out a tweet, more is coming. I was told that this was a couple weeks ago, there were 2 more releases coming. Like in a larger scale. This was one. So I'm assuming there's another one by the end of the year.
You don't think it was Ric Flair?
Well, you know what? It could. This could have been number 2. You know what? This could have been number 2. Flair being released and Bray being released was one maybe, and then this is number 2. I gotta follow up. I'm really behind, but I was told there were going to be 2 sets of releases.
Okay.
The Flair thing comes off more of like, hey, I want out, and they agreed because they don't want to pay him the money to do nothing.
Right. Yeah. Now, okay. So would it be fair to say that they're trimming the fat on the quote unquote bench warmers?
Yes. They want to close the roster down a little bit so they could focus in more on talent. Which, you know what, they're right on this. There's that roster. All the rosters are so big for WWE on all sides that it gets very difficult to concentrate on how you're going to push everybody. So when you have, I'm throwing a number. Let's say you have 100 guys. What's easier, write for 100 guys or write for 25?
Right.
When you have, 50 of the women's wrestlers, is it easier to write for 10 of them or is it easier to write for 50 of them?
Right. Well, it's...
This finding the diamond in the rough thing really works well until you have, a roster that's astronomical in size, and you don't know because you're trying to give everybody a chance, so you're taking away from somebody.
Well, I feel like we saw this coming like a couple of years ago. Okay. And I'm not saying like we predicted it, but I do think the writing was on the wall as soon as AEW was a legitimate thing and they were trying to scoop up wrestlers. WWE did the same thing. And I think, from a business standpoint, they hired all these people to eventually fire them just so AEW couldn't get them at the time.
Yeah, I think so.
Right?
Yeah.
And I think with that rationale, obviously it's business. It sucks that people get fired, but for WWE, it's business. These are cost-cutting measures, especially now that they're going back on the road. And we talked about this before the show. What has WWE done since the 80s? They attach their wagon to one guy, and that's the one guy that matters, right?
Yeah, and right now that's Roman.
Right.
And before that it was Cena, and before that it was, Austin and Rock. I mean... that was a bizarre era that we can't really historically there's been no amount of talent on that high caliber being top guys in a business. I mean, actually at that era you could put anybody in that top spot and it was going to work.
In the
everybody they tried, who didn't work? From Billy Gunn. Billy Gunn was one of the only ones. Billy Gunn did not work.
Well, they were priming him to be a star, but I think the personal stuff got in the way of that.
It's possible. Yeah. So,
but go ahead.
I would say personally, based on what was said to me, I would expect maybe some more cuts.
Yeah. And also, in that era that we were just talking about, like the Attitude Era, it seems to me like you had a lot more competition backstage, whether it be friendly or animus. Mm-hmm. And these guys wanted to be in that top spot, right? Whereas now it just seems like guys are chosen to be in that top spot and not fighting for it. You know, Mick Foley, great example. Triple H, great example.
Yeah, all great examples.
Like everybody on that roster, like you said, anybody could have been plugged in to a main event spot and it would have worked. Now it's a little bit different, right?
Very different. So I know we got a lot of people here, about 270 people here hanging out with us today.
Chilling.
We got another super chat. Justin Lopez, the stellar Justin Lopez.
And we got
any updates on Orton? I do have some. And Bob Hazelwood got a question here. $10 from Bob Hazelwood. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Bob Hazelwood. Bob Hazelwood. Blah, blah,
no. Don't say it.
Don't do the third one.
Don't do the third one.
He'll show up with a bunch of rosé.
Yeah, that's it. So where were we here? Sorry, guys.
It's okay.
So format changes for NXT. Mm-hmm. I think PW Insider reported this. I had heard that they were working on it. Stories, a new logo, new lighting and look, different format, and a focus on younger talent. So there's numerous things here, right? Focus on younger talent 100%. Okay? Mm-hmm. And this may have been the Samoa Joe issue as well on the main roster.
Okay.
I think what they're going to do now is go back to how it used to be. Mm-hmm. You have like 2 or 3 guys that are your veterans, you guys that could really help people, and then the rest are going to be younger guys, up and coming guys that you're focusing on TV and starting over. What was said to me yesterday was, how does a young guy get over on the product when you have veterans like Samoa Joe, Finn Balor, Ciampa, Gargano, that guys that have been around forever, Adam Cole, Bobby Fish, these guys have been around for a very, very long time in wrestling. They're not young guys.
But they are. And Adam Cole's a young guy.
Adam Cole's the exception. Yeah. I think Adam Cole's been around forever.
Yeah.
Is Adam Cole an NXT guy or is Adam Cole a main roster guy?
You're asking me.
I'm asking you.
NXT, you know what? Just from my own perspective, keep him on NXT for life. Or let him go. Let the guy go. I know he's negotiating his contract right now. Do you think the Bobby Fish thing would have any effect on that?
I think everything has an effect on that. Okay. I think that he's been a little apprehensive to sign. Says something. The Pete Dunn story says a lot. Mm-hmm. Especially, by the way, those NXT UK guys. Where Pete Dunn and Hold on, let me find this.
Kuda Metarika says Bobby Fish has been around since the 50s.
Yeah, Bobby Fish has been around since the 50s. But here's a guy, okay? You want to talk about young talent versus old talent?
Sure.
By the way, I have so much stuff to get to. And
Take a breath.
I know. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to get everything out that's in my head. Where's Tyler Bate?
Didn't he get into like some kind of issue?
Not really. He did it. I mean, he was actually, he came out unscathed from a lot. 24 years old. That Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne match that we saw, that first one, the second one.
Ooh, lordy.
That was, you know how many years ago that was?
6 years.
I mean, Pete Dunne was like 19. I'm sorry, Tyler Bate was like 19, 20 years old.
He was 18.
He could have been 18.
Yeah.
What has happened that a guy like him has not been developed over the last 4 years?
I think it's a height thing with him. He's not a tall guy.
He's 5'7", $170.
Yeah.
$180. The dude was fantastic, and really, that was it. Like the whole thing, that was like, okay, we got what we wanted from him. He did that great spot, and then now we're done.
A little bizarre.
I know he's going after the tag titles on NXT UK, but I mean that's not a place you want to put a guy like Tyler Bate.
Listen, like they have such a bloated roster all around, and none of this stuff is really surprising. Again, it's unfortunate that these guys lost their jobs. Plethora 1C $4.99. We're going to answer that question later. John Gorman $5. We're going to answer that question later. Thank you very much, guys.
Yeah. So NXT obviously changes coming. I think this is going to be an inherent change within the company. We're seeing it now, right? You're cutting people that you feel are not able to drive the revenue versus the cost. Now we get into Bray Wyatt. I'm going to tell you confidently, I do not believe that this was a budgetary reason for a cut. The guy sold a ton of merch. He was a draw for them. Yeah. He was a house show draw, and he was a merch seller. He was intriguing. The amount of effort and money that went into creating that, the R&D, the storyboarding. You can't tell me that now all of a sudden you've created this guy that you're gonna have longevity with. You're gonna make money with. Yeah. Because forget about that ridiculous Seth Rollins red cage match. Forget about all that. Right.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you stop and you say, "Oh crap! Look at this dude."
Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
You say, "Wow." Regardless of if you think it's corny or whatever, you still say, "Wow." You don't drop that. You don't cut loose when you're so heavily invested.
Well, I mean, there has to be a reason for it. Number one. Number two, he was the closest they got to like a Mick Foley in a very long time.
Dude, they freaking gave him the mandible claw.
Mandible claw.
They gave him that wacky mask. They gave him that crazy gimmick. The intro, the lantern. You don't just say goodbye to the Undertaker. I'm not saying, listen, and I'm not comparing it to the. I'm saying I'm comparing this on a financial investment in a character. When you develop a character like that. Vince generally doesn't let the character go.
Right.
We're not talking about talent. We're talking about the character. I find that release out of all of them was very surprising based on what the reasoning is that they have stated.
They also silently released JoJo a while ago too.
Nobody knew. Yeah.
Nobody knew. Like, it was very quiet.
I believe what happened, she was pregnant, and then she took time off, and then was she pregnant again? Did they have a second? I don't know.
The silver lining for all this stuff is like, a guy like Bray Wyatt is going to show up somewhere.
So creative,
and
so driven.
He'll be an asset to whoever he signs with, right? Maybe he'll take some time off and then come back better than ever. I feel like the WWE stuff that we saw is a drop in the bucket, right? I'm going to use Malachi Black as an example. This is the stuff that he's wanted to do on the main roster forever, but they wouldn't pull the trigger on it, right?
Malachi Black is a great one, yeah.
So like these creative guys are out there. They're gonna add to it.
But Aleister Black was not invested in like Bray was.
Right.
Well, I mean, think about it from the beginning of Bray's career there. With not the beginning.
Not Husky Harris.
You took Husky Harris and you morphed him into,
the Cape Fear guy.
Cape Fear to a cult leader to a demon. There's been a tremendous evolution in the character that's worked every time.
Absolutely.
So when you cut someone like that, there's more. There's more to it. I know for a fact he was set to return. They This month?
In August at some point.
I think either this week or the week after. I believe it was possibly the week after this.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever that is before. I don't know what his program was, okay? But I will say WWE has done a very good job at doing exactly everything that they were going to do this year, right? Like, great example is Finn Balor. Finn Balor was supposed to be in NXT for a short period to help boost it a little bit, and then he was coming back to the main roster for SummerSlam, and I believe, I cannot remember if this is fact or something I heard, he was going to have his feud with Bray, his return match, and we were going to do the Fiend versus the Demon, Balor, right? You're going to have that. I'm not saying that that's what they were going to do right now, but it does seem like this Finn Balor, Roman Reigns thing has been thrown in the mix out of nowhere. So if you were to ask me on my personal opinion, if I remember this clearly, I would say maybe they were going to go the same path.
Okay.
Right? They would have led down that path. I don't know. I know that was something that was discussed last year for SummerSlam, and listen, what better to have those two entrances in that giant arena?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I don't want to beat a horse to death here, but
beat it, please.
In terms of the Bray Wyatt stuff, Wyndham Rotunda, I'm going to ask you a question now. And I while you're on vacation, I had this thought. Right? Yeah. Would you? I know people are beating this to death about, like, if so and so gets released, he should join the Dark Order or be the leader of the Dark Order, etc. What if he shows up, does the Dark Order stuff, and calls himself Harper Lee Wyatt?
I mean, he could do. I mean, that's a great name.
I know.
I don't think he could use the last name though. I don't know. But here's a great thing, right?
Would you pop for that?
What an organic feud with Adam Page.
Oh yeah.
Because on last week Adam Page said, I don't want you guys to come out. The Dark Order could say, we did everything to make you our leader. You turned your back on us, and now we found our true leader. And here's Bray.
He's got two lanterns.
And then you could, and man, how great will that work?
He's got two lanterns, and he smashes them and then drinks them.
That's what he does. I mean, I'm fantasy booking here, right? But I mean, how great does that work? It works.
Oh, it works.
It organically works. With that said, however, I don't think AEW needs to jump on a lot of these names here.
I agree with you.
And they need to be very careful how they position this.
I'm super interested if Adam Cole ends up in AEW and they have to explain how he's not dead anymore, in terms of, like,
and
Adam Cole being dead.
Yeah. I think that would be fantastic. The other thing, somebody brought this up. They said, "Oh, this is very WWE in the TNA days when they released everybody and TNA picked everybody up. When Booker T went to TNA and Rob Van Dam went to TNA."
Yeah,
I'm like, you know what though? I'm going to tell you. I don't think TNA would have ever been able to compete because of the stigma that was always attached to it.
Yeah.
It was too close to WCW as far as, like how they began. Yeah. And they never got that stink off. I think, and isn't that perception is key here with everything. TNA had the worst of the worst WCW stink on it, and AEW has the best of the best WCW stink on it.
Right.
Which is fascinating.
Upper echelon
WCW. They have like 97 to 98 best WCW cruiserweight moments on that, but TNA was like the Buff Bagwell segments.
Do you think?
No offense to Buff.
Do you think it would turn the tide if Jeff Jarrett started appearing on AEW?
Oh, I hope so. That would be it. That would be the moment that I just leap off the building. If I hear that Jeff Jarrett theme one more time in my life. That TNA Jeff, I had PTSD from it.
Yeah, no thank you.
I cry. I Harper Lee Rotunda is another great name.
Southern Razzlin'. Southern Razzlin'. No offense to anybody from the South, by the way.
All the offense. I love the South.
You mean
yeah? I love it.
Yeah. Why do you love the South?
I had this great couple from Alabama next to me. And they're like, I had to educate them, like, college football is not a thing here in New York.
Oh no, right? Like, nope. East Coast. Nope.
So I looked at him. I'm like, where are you from? He's like, Alabama. I go, I got a friend in Huntsville. He's like, really? I'm like, yeah. Roll Tide. And he started laughing.
Do your Alabama impression.
I can't. It's way too offensive.
Yeah?
I go into a very old-timey Alabama accent.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Very, very highly offensive. So I used Conrad as a talking point with this man.
We got to get Con back on.
Yeah, I love Con. We got to do something with him.
Love you, Con. So R.I.P. Beautiful Bobby Eaton.
Yeah.
As we move on with our notes, died on Wednesday. He was 62. Very young.
Yeah, he was not doing great.
Yeah.
But man, what a tremendous wrestler.
Oh yeah.
In a different era, this guy would have been really something on national television. It's just different era, man. He really was the worker's worker. He had a long career too. Another release here. Ric Flair let go by WWE. Listen, he wasn't happy, and they paid him a lot of money to be an ambassador, to represent the company. If I'm going to take an intelligent guess, I would say in a freaking heartbeat he's going to AEW, and I would have him kick Chavo's ass to the curb and have him manage Andrade.
Are you horny for Horseman now?
I'm really horny for Horseman. I really am.
Jonathan, can we make that a t-shirt? Just horny for Horseman?
I definitely am, man. I think it's cool. And by the way, Flair was supposed to be in AEW.
Yeah.
That first show when they crowned the champion, he was supposed to be the guy that presented the title instead of Bret Hart, but
Listen.
he had a lot of health issues at that point, and they couldn't do it. So Bret Hart presented the title. So this isn't the first time. Obviously, there's a StarCast connection. I'm hoping that they do StarCast again. Hopefully, once things kind of go back to normal. Listen, he's a legendary name. If you bring him out every now and then, better than nothing.
Oh, absolutely. And you saw that on Wednesday.
Give him a mic.
Gallows wearing the robe.
Well, who tweeted that AEW is going to be a hoot?
Okay.
Somebody tweeted that. I forgot who.
Interesting.
And I was like, huh, interesting. And he came out with the Nature Hoot jacket.
Very interesting. So what else?
Little talking shop reference there.
Little talking shop there.
So Ric Flair release, go ahead.
Pete Dunne's contract is also expiring.
Very interesting. I got to tell you, Hunter's very high on Pete Dunne, but I don't, you know what's interesting? I'm really curious what that man is thinking right now.
Hunter.
Yeah.
Do you think Hunter's guys are protected?
No, not anymore.
Like Finn Balor's a good example.
I do not think anybody in NXT is protected anymore. I think Vince got his hands on it, and he's like, this is my opinion. Okay. But I think, and I'm not saying like he's like, fuck this place. I think he's like, I think he's more like, okay, we need to re-strategize how we're doing this.
Okay.
Why am I giving... Our ratings are down on Fox and on Raw, right? The ratings are not where they need to be. Why the F am I giving talent that could be a needle mover? Why am I giving it away on this product that 500,000 people are watching? Right? I'm just saying that could be its philosophy, but the reality is, what the hell are you going to do with a Pete Dunne? You have a Ricochet. You have one of the greatest workers in that moment, right? In that pocket of hires. Ricochet was a hot commodity in professional wrestling.
100%. He still can be.
He still can be. That ladder match, he was a star of that ladder match and that match on Raw the week prior. He was a freaking star.
Yeah.
And you don't know how to use this guy?
Well, I think
he can't talk?
I think he was in too deep, if you know what I mean.
I think so.
Chris Farrell, $5.
Chris Farrell, thank you very much.
Thanks, bud.
Let's see what else we got here. So Pete Dunne, I don't know. His contract's ending, apparently, and... I think people get very excited. They get very horny when they see like, oh, so-and-so's contract is expiring.
Yeah, they get real horny about it.
We gotta also balance out talent. You know, if Adam Cole goes to AEW and Pete Dunne goes to AEW and CM Punk and Daniel Bryan and all these guys. Now you're kind of in the same issue as, okay, who do I focus attention to?
But you have 4 shows to do it with.
Yeah, 4 shows to do it with. Well, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Now you have the Friday show, which they're going to need to load up on.
Elevation, Dark, Dynamite,
up-and-coming talent. Yeah, so those 2 are up-and-coming talent, and 2 of them are going to be main caliber shows.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens there.
I'm too sweepy to stay up until 10 o'clock on a Friday night.
Me too.
I know, right? I was in bed at like 9:30 yesterday.
A little too sweepy.
Too sweepy. Talk to me about SummerSlam, Andrew.
What the hell happened, and why is everybody talking about that it's canceled?
I think people went a little ballistic when they were like, "Oh, well, here it comes."
So here's how rumors get started. There was a report. I believe it was Cassidy Haynes. That let me just double check this. I don't want to poo-poo on anybody here.
Old Cass Haynes, friend of the show.
Yeah, Cassidy from bodyslam.net put out a bunch of stories this week. And one of them was that WWE, there's rumblings that if the pay-per-view's canceled, and by the way, I haven't read everything, so I'm just whatever I interpreted this as, that's how I'm going to say it. WWE has plans, backup plans for if something were to happen and they have to cancel events, what do they do? What's the plan, right?
Mm-hmm.
Somehow, all these other websites picked up on this. And you know what? A little clickbaity with these titles, boys and girls. A little clickbaity. I'm just gonna say when the title is SummerSlam canceled.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe you should pull back. Maybe you should add could it be canceled? Let's soften this. Everybody I spoke to that works in that building, one person that is part of the coordination team for events, said if this is the case, they would be shocked. I sent the exact tweet. I don't remember what it was, but it was more like, listen, we're working on stuff as we speak.
Right.
And while I'm tweeting this, I got 2 messages from people within the building that work there. One sent his credentials to me to say, listen, this is a BS story.
Yeah.
SummerSlam is not canceled, nor is any of the other events that we're hosting in that building. Wrestling fans need to realize not everything revolves around wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
And that you got to look at all the other things that are happening to get your answer. I was like, you know what? He's absolutely right here.
I really like the high-pitched thing you do with your voice there.
Which one?
It's very entertaining. Yeah.
That one?
It's good. It's very Larry David-y.
It is very Larry David.
Are you the Larry David of Pro Wrestling Podcast?
I would love to be. You know what? Quite possibly. Have you seen how many people live with me?
Oh, my God, yeah. So, mask mandate.
Yes, there is a mask mandate.
For SummerSlam,
SummerSlam.
Which is fine. Guess what? That's fine. Well, we got to remember to bring our vax cards with us, just in case.
Do we really?
Yeah, just in case. Because
you mean my governor quick to touch Cuomo Excelsior?
Listen, he's Italian American.
Can I just tell you that is, you know what? What a hysterically absurd defense,
dude. The montage.
The montage.
Guys, if you don't know what we're talking about, our governor, allegedly, Mayor Cuomo, Mayor Andrew Cuomo, and Governor Mayor Cuomo was
Mayor Cuomo.
Governor Mayor Cuomo. He was accused of sexy, touchy stuff, and his defense the other day was a 2-pronged attack of, I am Italian American.
Well,
and here's a montage of me touching people's faces.
I mean, I'm not exaggerating. It's not even funny, but it's
not funny.
His defense, is the most hysterical dirtbag Queens, grown up in Queens defense you could ever think of, and it was, what do you mean? I'm Italian American. I kiss everybody, and I'm very touchy feely. And this is he showed an image of his parents. And he's like, they pretty much inherently taught me this behavior by kissing everybody and touching everybody. And I'm like, oh my God, love it.
Now, let me tell you.
Hysterical. I mean, what a crazy double down.
Before we go back into the wrestling
and I'm not getting political here. I just thought the defense of, hey, I'm Italian. What do you want from me?
Not to get political, but I'm gonna say this with 100% certainty. I think 85% of the older guys that you and I know are that exact, like, hey, don't get a mwah. You know, I can't tell you how many times I got kissed on the neck by an older dude. And you too.
It's like a regular occurrence.
It's a regular.
I'm not even exaggerating here. Rich and I go to the bar. There will be an old Italian man named Little Bobby that comes over and gives me a kiss and like holds my face and caresses me. I mean, that's just a normal day in the neighborhood.
Sometimes you get the handshake that turns into a kiss of the hand and a little thing like this on the neck, and then a kiss on the neck.
How about when they measure your suit? You know?
Oh, they go way up.
No, you measure your suit. They give you a little one of these.
Yeah, they give you one of those.
Isn't that normal?
They bat around your nutsack like a Warner Brothers cartoon.
Oh my God! I'm gonna tell you, there's no other show like this. I'm so sorry, guys.
Anyway, all right. So don't apologize. You have to stop apologizing. Stop apologizing for your behavior, Andrew.
I think the other Andrew needs to start apologizing. So yeah, mask mandate in Nevada, whatever, man.
It's fine.
I get it. It is what it is.
Like I was saying, we got to bring our vax cards just in case. So if we want to have a nice dinner somewhere, they might be like, "Oh, where's your proof or whatever?" You know?
Yeah, whatever.
Get a laminated vax card, attach it to my chest. Do this thing all the time. So we'll be in Vegas, by the way.
We will be in Vegas next week. Our special guest
Will be revealed.
will be revealed.
Yeah,
I think so.
you doing it this way?
Oh, yeah,
Is that your hint?
No, I just like to do this.
What if
3
it's
times?
this guy doing it outward? It's Fonzie.
Hey, our special guest
Henry
for the
Winkler
pool will be revealed. It's gonna be a lot of fun, man. We're gonna our flights are not gonna be fun. We're flying Spirit Air,
Leaving from Newark.
leaving from Newark at like 6 a.m.
Yeah.
and we're coming back with a layover.
Fucking Joe Pearl. Let's go.
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna tell you. You know what I'm gonna do to him when I see him?
I want to know what you're gonna do.
I'm gonna give him a double-sided kiss,
Uh-huh.
and I'm gonna just go like this, right to his brajol.
Oh yeah.
Just a little like, hey, how you doing? And then I'm gonna suplex him into the pool.
You know what? You distract him. You grab his nutsack, and I'll come up behind him and like do. Remember when you were a kid and people used to do like
The
redneck?
nugget? Yeah.
No, like
Oh,
just
one of
slap him on the
those,
back of
yeah.
the neck.
Do one of those.
That's it.
I'm telling you, 90s pranks all day.
I was trying to be nice to Joe Pearl on Twitter the other day,
And what do you do?
and he was like, he posted a very nice picture of him in like a suit. He's
Yeah.
hanging out in some rocks or whatever it was. I don't know. And I was like, oh, you look great, man. And he's like, yeah, I'm gonna wear this suit when I kick your ass in Vegas. I was like, bro, come on.
Love it. Guys, we do have a lot to talk about, but I want to thank each and every one of you for joining us today on a Saturday morning, having a couple of brewskis here, hanging out. Guys, if you have not subscribed to the podcast, do us a favor. Hit the subscribe button here on YouTube. You could hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. YouTube algorithm likes that, and we like it when you do that as well. Go to patreon.com/Mattman Podcast. You can fund us as little as $1 per episode. Whatever you want to give us helps us pay the bills here. Also, we got t-shirts, prowrestlingtees.com, Mattman/Mattman Podcast. You can buy the original Mattman t-shirts there. However, we have new shirts going up. Next week, probably Tuesday, we will drop all the new shirts. We got a Vegas shirt. We got a Chicago shirt coming. We got a Queen shirt. We got a whole bunch of stuff coming. So thank you to Jonathan for designing all of them. And you know what? Jonathan gets half the proceeds. So if you and Jonathan produces the show here. So you want to help us out and help the crew out, go and sign up over there.
Get some t-shirts, man.
Yeah,
Also, Allegiant Stadium is apparently cashless venue.
It is a cashless venue. Good reminder for everybody. So if you are going to SummerSlam, remember, you cannot pay with cash.
Bring your credit cards.
Yeah, bring your credit cards.
Bring your credit, or you can Venmo us, and we'll buy you stuff.
I'm bringing my Diners Club.
Ooh, yeah.
Ratings. AEW ratings 1.1 million, fourth week above 1 million. Raw did 1.8 million, and NXT 520 because they're on Sci-Fi, so obviously, and it was a pre-tape show. WWE highlights here. The crowd was hot in Chicago on Monday.
Oh yeah. Do you think they turned down the actual crowd noise and then pumped in their own audio?
I don't know, but it was a hot crowd.
It was a hot crowd. You had CM Punk chants and you had Bray Wyatt chants.
You did have Bray Wyatt chants.
Or give us Bray, I think.
Something like that.
Yeah.
It was a largely not much happened. SmackDown last night, Sasha versus Bianca has been made official after Sasha returns and attacked last week. Balor was attacked by Roman and the Usos. Nakamura won the contendership match against Apollo Crews. IC title match is set up for SummerSlam. Edge got a big pop yesterday.
Yeah. Why not?
Big pop.
Why not? He's Edge. You know, like, do you think also like part of the, weird rationale, part of the firings are because like you have a guy like Edge showing up and really like he's over. He's just built in over, and they don't need like the superfluous.
Also, maybe bodies. It's very possible that they're just going smaller with the roster and hyper focusing on everybody that they feel that they need to push with better attention. I mean, there's a lot of reasons for this, but one reason for a Bray Wyatt is not a budgetary cut.
No,
unless they want to do what I had heard and renegotiate these contracts. But you know what? You don't really. What a crappy way to do this to people. I get it, man. It's business, and you want to renegotiate these things, but. It's very interesting. The Adam Cole stuff, which we'll get to also, because I know a lot of you guys are going to have questions with that, so I'll save that for the end of the show.
Friend of the show, NYC Demon Diva, also says for the ladies, make sure to check out the clear bag policy at Allegiant Stadium as well.
Oh, is that true? They have a clear bag policy?
No bulky purses at Allegiant.
Oh,
fuck, man, we gotta leave our purses at home.
I just bought a nice YSL purse too.
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm Gucci all day, baby.
You're Gucci all day. Do I wear my Louboutins?
Oh yeah,
my Louboutin loafers to SummerSlam.
I want
Fancy Boys.
I want Fancy Boys. for at least a little bit of Vegas.
Okay, because Chicago, I'm going to be out of my mind.
Oh, same here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chicago's going to be Nasty Boys.
Yeah,
Vegas
Nasty
will be
Boys,
Fancy Boys.
Fancy Boys. There you go. SummerSlam matches so far made the last 2 weeks. Roman Reigns versus John Cena, Universal Championship match. Bobby Lashley versus Goldberg. His kid got big, huh?
Sunberg, man.
Sunberg is a big boy now.
Return to Sunberg.
Goldberg for the WWE Championship. Nikki Ash versus Charlotte versus Rhea Ripley. WWE Women's Championship. Maybe you get Bianca here.
Mm-hmm.
Not Bianca. I'm so sorry. Maybe you got Becky here.
Oh, yeah.
We'll see. Bianca Belair versus Sasha Banks. WWE Women's SmackDown Championship. This would be a great match. Seth Rollins versus Edge. Very excited for this one. The Usos versus the Mysterios for the Tag Team Championship. That's what we have so far.
Imagine if Edge had to go to a different company and he had to be called Wedge.
AEW Dynamite on Wednesday. I gotta tell you.
Mm-hmm. Well, there you go. There's the breath. This is the where Andrew isn't a fan of AEW.
It was a little sloppy.
It wasn't. Usually I go to bed like pumped up and everything. My wife was in bed. She was like, "How's wrestling?" And I was like, "You know what?
It was okay.
It was all right. A little bit of a letdown, huh?"
It was a little like some of these men. Like, okay, Chris Jericho defeated Hoovy, right? I gotta say, very cool to watch. Did not love the match. It was a little sloppy.
It was fine.
It was fine. Whatever. I thought it was just the cool factor took away from just like evaluating the match because it wasn't going to be this like 5-star match, obviously. But there was a lot of sloppiness on that show.
I think I don't want to say that the show felt rushed, and I also hate like nitpicking, and I
hate doing that too.
I also hate overanalyzing stuff, even though like part of our job here is to like really go in depth with this stuff. But I feel like, listen, not every 1 out of 10 shows, not a home run, right? I don't think this episode was a home run. I thought it had super solid moments. The Moxley Kingston Darby Allin match. Beating like the what do you call it?
2.0?
Everrise 2.0/2.0 on Danny Garcia. That was match of the night for me.
You know what? I enjoyed it, but there was a lot of sloppiness in that match also. Actually, there was some miscommunication spots, you know. But by the way, you know, they did a good job of telling you that there is history between Kingston and what's his name from Everrise.
Yeah.
What are they calling him?
The Canuck Bucks?
No, the dude with the ponytail.
Jeff Parker?
Is that what they call him?
It's one of those guys.
Okay,
yeah.
one of them. It was interesting that they told the story that they battled all across the Northeast, but there wasn't much put in beyond it. I got to tell you though, you know, I like 2.0 now more than I liked him as Everrise.
Yeah, they didn't get a chance as Everrise.
I mean, the guy's a great talker and really like old school wrestling. He's yelling at you. He's looking at you. Like, I like that stuff, you know?
Yeah, it was good facials.
Yeah.
You had Christian Cage. You had Christian Cage defeat the Blade with the bunny. Fun match. People were texting me that it was too long, as if I could do something about it.
It looks like it's going to be Christian Cage versus Kenny Omega at the pay-per-view.
You think so?
Yeah, but you know, Hangman's a way bigger match, but I've been told that things are getting shuffled around and there's a different plan for Hangman now.
Whatever the plans for Hangman are, they're going to be big.
Listen, Hangman is... I think a lot of people got nervous about this. They're like, oh, Hangman is pissed. Hang tight.
Yeah.
Let things play out a little bit. There's a lot of moving parts here.
Well, folks don't know how to hang tight anymore in terms of wrestling. They want what they want now, you know? Yeah. But Hangman is a good slow burn.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I'm excited. I think the Hangman stuff. Don't get worried about it.
Yeah.
From everything I've heard, I'm not concerned.
Red Velvet challenges Britt Baker, which I really like Red Velvet a lot. What happened to Sheeta?
I don't know.
It's just like out of the picture. Right?
I don't know.
Adam Page leaves the Dark Order, gets attacked by the Elite. You had Miro beating Lee Johnson. This is the most I've liked Miro in AEW.
Miro's coming along.
He's coming along.
Yeah.
Big dude.
Yeah. What do you think of Andrade right now?
I like it. I like you know what? I like I like how wacky and discombobulated it is, where he shows up speaking Spanish to two guys who speak Spanish, but then Chavo shows up to translate what they all
And
understand.
is he translating it properly?
Yeah, and it's funny, like
I mean, you obviously speak Spanish, so is he translating everything exactly?
Yeah,
the way?
I like it. I like it a lot. I want to see where this goes. Do you think they're gonna have like a really big Latino faction where it's like Penta, Phoenix, Andrade, Chavo, and then all of a sudden they go for Ortiz and Santana?
Oh yeah, maybe. I mean, that would be cool. I'm into that.
Yeah, I'd be cool with that too. You had Layla Hirsch beating the Bunny, and Camille showed up for a great shot of how
I didn't see this one.
gigantic Camille is, NWA Women's Champion.
Yeah. And
how tiny Layla Hirsch is.
Layla Hirsch is. I saw that. Yeah.
And Malachi Black making his in-ring debut. Amazing entrance. What presence. This guy is next level. This you know what? This might be my favorite moment of the night.
So were from the group chat. I took it that you didn't like the finish.
Oh, I liked it.
That it was a weird ending.
It was. I feel like they may have ended the match a little too early.
Maybe they want it to be daunting. Maybe they wanted to be like, whoa, what happened?
Woody and Cody teased a retirement.
Yeah, he took his boot off, put it in the ring. Listen, maybe he's going to take a couple weeks off and then come back.
He's filming season 2 of the Go Big Show.
Is that what it is? Okay.
Yeah. So like he's going to do. Cody is the master of returns at this point in this company, even though the company's been around for like 2 years. Cody has had the most returns of any wrestler on that roster.
So I thought ending Cody that way was really interesting, but man, they made him feel big in 2 weeks, 3 weeks. They made a star.
That's how you make a splash. Also, the Cody retirement thing is interesting because like he's such a good talker, right?
Yeah,
and I think his promo sent everybody into a frenzy, especially when he said, regardless of the infighting between the EVPs. And I think people latched onto that and were like, oh my God, something's wrong.
Yeah, but he's a master worker.
Yeah.
I think people don't give these guys credit as much as how carny and pro wrestling they are.
How carny, how over the top, they're loose to do whatever they want.
Listen,
I popped for the Kenny Omega thing. He's wearing a Cookie Monster shirt. Cookie Monster CM.
You know who popped for him?
Who?
You know who popped for that Cookie Monster shirt?
Who?
My kids.
Really?
They loved it. And my wife, and it was a proud husband moment. They're like, who is that? He's wearing a Cookie Monster shirt. He goes, oh, that's Kenny Omega.
Oh, wow.
I was like, yeah.
And you were like, my job here is done. I'm going to go get some milk. And then I got to go to the store.
You want to see my tan? Look at this.
Show that tan off. You got to show you got to stand up.
And just drop the whole thing.
And show your ass. And then you got to show that wanger.
That's it. That's the way I go out here.
All right.
It'll be like a George Costanza moment.
Next week, we have Jericho's 4th labor. Wardlow? How do you feel about that?
All right. Is the 5th labor MJF or is there another one before him? Is the 5th one another one before
The 5th one's another one.
So who the hell do you put before him? It has to be someone big. Has to be someone really big.
You think so? Like the Big Show?
No, I'm not teasing the Big Show. I know it sounded like that, but I don't know. I think you could do someone cool.
Braun Strowman?
You could do someone cool. I don't know.
Like cool, like this? Like this guy?
Yeah.
Like that guy?
Can you imagine?
Oh my God. Oh, like the toothpick. No.
No. I don't know. We'll see what happens. The 5th is MJF, apparently. No, I thought that was 2 more, dude.
No, the 5th is somebody else, and then it's MJF, right?
Maybe I'm wrong.
He has to get through the 5.
What's the chat room saying? Sorry, my brain. 5th is MJF. Okay, then I'm wrong. My apologies.
See, I thought he had to get past the 5 one.
I did too.
Huh.
5th is MJF.
Interesting.
The 5th is MG Geek.
Wow. Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Mr. Gonzo. Mr. Gonzi.
He's wearing just like S&M gear.
Did you
mean
read his
muzzled like a dog and he just attacks?
You read his day to day?
Yeah, his day to day.
MG, huge leather daddy.
Huge leather daddy.
Ladies, if you're into it.
Boys, if you're into it. Doesn't matter. Let's see. Where were we here? 4th labor next week. Chris Jericho, Wardlow, MJF at ringside. There was definitely confusion and miscommunication here because the announcers clearly said that MJF would be the special guest referee early in the show. So
okay.
They screwed up. Dan Lambert has a surprise for Lance Archer.
It's a pistol.
I can't. It's a pistol.
Epic pistol.
Dude, he's great. I can't wait to have him back. Nyla Rose versus Chris Stratlander. Another one of my my wife's favorites, Chris Stratlander.
There's no R in there.
Chris Statlander. I'm sorry, what did I say?
Stratlander.
Statlander. Why did I say Stratlander? Statlander. You know what it is? It was a surprise R from the top.
You have the Impact Tag Team Championship.
You want to see? Who wants to guess what my Con Ed bill is this month?
Is that what you want? Are you checking your bills?
Yeah,
right
I just got an email.
Boy.
You want to guess what my Con Edison electric bill is?
$1,200.
Close.
Yeah.
$1,100.
Wow. You use a lot of electricity.
Dude, I'm just pumping the whole neighborhood. That's expensive.
Next week, Jesus. Impact Tag Team Champions, Good Brothers versus Dark Order, Evil Uno and Stu Grayson.
Okay.
For the Impact Tag.
That's cool.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah.
They got all the gold, man. The Elite has all the gold.
And also the debut of AEW Rampage, AEW Women's Championship, World Championship match, Dr. Britt Baker versus Velvet.
Wow.
Red Velvet. Guys, okay, so we got a ton of questions. I know there's a ton of CM Punk questions, Daniel Bryan questions. I'm going to break this down in the Q&A segment, okay? Mm-hmm. We're going to do 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
All right? We're going to do 30 minutes of Q&As. You want to come to the top? Hit the super chat button with your question. Where do you want to begin here?
All right. So let's do the super chats.
Hold on. I need to put on like the Carson thing. I got to do like the Carson... Like with answering these.
I forgot what that character was called.
Yeah, I need a character for the Q&As now.
Do you want to get that big hat?
Yeah, I want the big hat. I want to be like, what is it, Zoltar?
Yeah, sure, we'll go with that.
Isn't that what is that thing at like the amusement park?
Zoltan.
On the boardwalk? Is that Zoltan? Is that it?
We have, I think,
like 500 questions.
I lost Jonathan's. Jonathan was trying to put questions in the not the comments, in the
on the side.
On the side, and those are gone now.
Oh.
So, Jonathan, if you can refine those questions and add them to the bottom.
No, they're all on the bottom.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I think we're missing a lot, to be honest with you.
Oh, no, he has notes.
Okay. Am I missing something? Do I not know how to use the doc file?
I don't know. I think they're working so hard at this doc file where we have no idea what we're doing at this point.
Oh, he moved them back to the bottom. All right, thanks, Jonathan. Yeah, so like we're gonna do your super chat note questions right now. Okay. Cal W95, was Ari Sterling and Anthony Henry on those 6-month Evolve contracts?
Oh, that's a great question. I could find that out. It's possible. That's a really, really good question. I could find that out though. That's an easy enough thing to find out. Good question though. $5. I'm going to give you 5 liras for that question.
All right. We got Ryan Martin's $9.99. Hey, Andrew, did you see the reports of NXT getting a complete rebrand? If so, what happens to some of the older talent? Ciampa, Gargano, Io, etc. And also, is Cole re-signing with the company?
I don't know. I don't know what that conversation was yesterday that they had at SmackDown, because he was at SmackDown yesterday. I would say that he has so much popularity behind, like, people champion him behind the scenes.
Adam Cole.
Very, very well liked.
Yeah.
I would be very surprised if he didn't re-sign with WWE. Let me just, I don't want to get into details about contracts and stuff, but I would be very, very surprised.
If he
didn't sign.
Okay.
With that said, what happens to older talent like Ciampa, Gargano, I think they'll still have some of those guys. They're going to have to bring them up. I expect a lot of these guys to show up on main TV, especially for September, because that's, things are moving. Hopefully things don't get shut down again, obviously. But September is like the big moment. I would say that you're going to see some of these guys on the main roster, and NXT, they're going to have to develop new talent and start over, and then maybe you'll bring some people down every now and then. The Balor thing was an experiment, bringing Balor down. So maybe you bring Riddle down for a little bit. Maybe you bring, now Joe's down there for a little bit.
Yeah.
Unless Joe stays there. Yeah. So I think you're going to see maybe a little bit of this and try to build up new talent that they could hyper-focus in. Because remember, in NXT's glory days, the roster was very small.
Yeah.
And now they have so many people. You don't see people on TV every week with 2 hours. So we'll see.
Stellar Justin Lopez, $4.99. Thanks, bud. Sup, guys? Any update on Orton? The Mysterios versus Usos being announced for SummerSlam makes me think they scrapped Omos and AJ versus RK Bro.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Orton's probably living his best life somewhere on the beach.
I don't know. Maybe he took some time. Maybe he's like, fuck it, I want to enjoy my summer. I've been here for 45 years. What do you want from me?
Bob Hazelwood, can WWE's lack of developing new stars be traced back to using TV writers instead of wrestling people? Longtime TV shows, example, NCIS, don't usually introduce new star characters.
Great question by Bob. I think some of that has a lot to do with it. I think the fact that you have, if you're not from wrestling, you tend to not see the things that make someone a phenomenal pro wrestler. And I'm not just talking about in-ring ability. I'm talking about, mic ability, movement, face reaction. These are not things that these TV writers really work with. Also, TV writers don't sit there with the top stars and manage them, right? Like, you think the writer on... Give me a show. Give me, like, a really good show.
Breaking Bad.
Okay. The writers wouldn't sit there and be like, hey, what's his name? Bryan Cranston, right? Brian, listen, the way you're delivering that, you need to use this word specifically. Because he'll turn around and be like, no, F you, I'm not using that word. It's ridiculous. It doesn't make sense for my character. And he'll be able to push through. Your top stars could do that. But guess what? When you're a development star, you're not going to be able to do that. You're going to read the lines the way it is. I think this approach to writing TV versus writing wrestling, you're writing wrestling.
Right.
You're writing a wrestling show. I understand you want to be a little bit more refined, and that's great. You should be. And AEW is doing the same thing, too. They're hiring a storyboard guy, which is very much needed for that company. That's something that WWE was doing in the early 2000s with that guy from MTV. I keep saying his name as Chris Christie, but it's not. It's Chris Christie. Chris
Crisley.
Not Crisley.
Crisley.
But, he...
Hi.
Hi, it's Crisley. He was actually, he passed away of cancer, but he became, a lead guy that was big onto storyboarding. So they need to do more. I don't know. I think, having comedy writers writing serious storylines doesn't work. But you know what? And then you have stuff like the Roman Reigns stuff, which is fantastic. And you're like, wow, they get it.
But I feel like that's hands-on Vince.
Heyman has a lot to do with it.
It's got to be like... Yeah.
Vince is very protective of it.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's like, the top of the top are involved.
The top of the top are always involved with like a guy, especially a guy like Roman, man. Like Roman was like Vince's pet project for ages, Like remember, the third member of the Shield could have been Chris Hero.
Can you imagine? And by the way, CM Punk was so wrong on that.
Yeah.
And the internet was so wrong on that. When they were begging, it should have been Chris Hero. When that story came out, it's like, oh my God, you see how Vince introduced his guy into this, and you see, this is one of the biggest faction acts in the last decade.
That shit worked so hard because they gave Punk two guys in Rollins and Ambrose, and then they were like, all right, third guy's got to be a company guy.
But that was a really weird moment. Remember how they were gonna like help him, and they weren't helping him, and they were like, it just went nowhere
with the video cameras and the Paul Heyman thing.
Yeah, the lights went off and. Really weird stuff.
All right, moving on. Plethora 1C. Sapp said last night, Bob Sapp said last night
Bob
that
Sapp.
There's a story about WWE Fox that is dropping next week. Does Andrew know what this is?
I'm going to say that for him.
You're going to let Sean take it? Look at you.
Yeah.
Look at you.
I don't have all the details, and that's his thing, and I don't want to jump in on that.
Look at that respect.
I do have respect. I have respect for these guys.
Do you have respect for Joe Pearl?
Zero.
Yeah.
Zero. I'm going to wet willy the shit out of him. Watch.
We're going to old school Joe Pearl. Andrew's going to get on his knees behind you, and I'm just going to
push right into the
pool. John Gorman not saying AEW killed NXT, but you have to wonder if Vince, Nick Khan hold a grudge for NXT being able to beat AEW in the ratings.
Zero. None of that.
It's all business.
Nick Khan has nothing to do with talent. The talent's getting released. Nick is more on the corporate side of things. Yeah, budgetary reason. He's a financial guy, so he's going to look at the budget. They are setting it up for something. These moves. Listen, a lot of people are like, they're waiting for this is generally you want as much money in the bank as possible. When you're selling a product, so you downsize, you combine, you hire new, you get rid of your heavy expenses, but. This could also be them hunkering down for the next, couple years of uncertainty.
Okay.
I mean, a lot of people are missing this, that we're still in this, and things are shifting daily.
Yeah.
And if you're a company and you're trying to survive this, maybe they're thinking like, listen, can we survive another shutdown? Yeah, things were great for us the first time, but what happens to these partnerships? What happens to these commitments? And now we got to find venues. The expenses change again. So it could very well be something like that. I don't think Nick Khan is holding any kind of grudge. I think he's getting a lot of crap online because he's a new name that you can point a finger to. But this is all coming from the top. Top.
Fair enough. Chris Farrell, with the rumors of Flair not being portrayed well in the upcoming Dark Side of the Ring about the plane ride from hell, that got cut off. I'm assuming maybe he meant like maybe that's why they kind of let him go a little bit.
I don't know. Is that the? I mean, I think everybody knows the story from 20 years ago, and I don't think WWE is going to. I mean, maybe. Do you think that would turn into like this mega story?
No. For Flair, dude.
I don't think so. I don't think. And those guys, they have enough respect for a guy like Flair to not really point him in the wrong light. Unnecessarily.
Yeah,
unnecessarily. I'm not saying everybody. Someone with his status should be given a carte blanche pass.
Right. He's not Italian American.
He's not Italian American. He can't hug. Oh, you know what though? You know what? That's the defense he should have used.
That he's Italian American.
Yeah, just gel his hair black like mine.
Woo. Ryan Martin's another $4.99. Do you think WWE's years of talent hoarding is catching up with them?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
definitely. I also think not knowing what to do with a small amount of talent has caught up with them because they haven't had a small shop. So you really, those days that you used to walk into Vince's office and be like, hey, this is the idea that I have. That's impossible now.
You have to wait a lot.
If you ever.
Yeah. Fight Me A, $5. Gun to the head. If you have to pick, what are you more excited for, August 20th Rampage or SummerSlam? I'm going to say SummerSlam because we're going to be there.
Yeah, I'm going to be there at SummerSlam. So.
Young Drizzy, $4.99. Do you know if Alexa versus Eva is happening at SummerSlam or is it going to be a tag with Lillian Piper?
I don't know. I have not asked whatsoever.
A tag would be more fun.
A tag would be more
like a quick 5-minute tag match. Brandon Edwards, $30. Andrew, put some respect on MLW talent development.
Dude, MLW's doing great. It's a great show. They do great stuff. I feel like they have now become the Ring of Honor of this time. Like this era.
Do you think they're gonna be MLW is gonna be like AEW's farm system almost?
I don't know. I watched Battle Ride. Did you watch Battle Ride?
No, I didn't.
Blue Meanie showed up.
Oh, get out of
here. Friend of the show, Brian, yeah.
All right, we're going to jump on to the Twitter questions now. Do you want to do Twitter questions or do you want to do chat questions? We have a lot to get through. We have 20 minutes left.
I'm looking at MLW's roster here. It's a phenomenal roster.
You want to bang these out real quick?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. This is from the Ask Mattmen hashtag. Every week we're going to be doing Ask Mattmen on Twitter. Just use the hashtag and we'll try to get to your question on the show. Beyond the Ring podcast asks, what's the update on Adam Cole's high-level meeting with Vince? Do you guys see Adam Cole leaving and joining AEW?
I would say that I don't know. I think he should stay in WWE for now.
Who knows, man? You always hear about Vince promising the world to these guys and not delivering.
Possible. By the way, today is the 7-year anniversary of Bubba powerbombing Dixie Carter through the table.
Amazing.
For I think one of their highest rated moments in TNA history.
We got $5 from Ace Conduce. To me, these releases mean they're still prepping to be sold, and Comcast is just licking their chops. I added the sound effect on that, by the way.
I like the sound effects.
Let's see here. This is from AK15. Since the NXT stars have a 30-day non-compete, are we going to be seeing a few of those released yesterday possibly appear at the AEW Grand Slam show at Arthur Ashe?
Who would?
Bronson Reed.
I don't know. Do you do like a battle royal there and you have these guys? Some of these guys show up. I mean, I don't know who you would pick up from that set of releases, but how many debuts you're going to have the next couple?
It's tough, right?
Shows. You got to balance it out. I don't know. I think if you did something like that for I think Bronson Reed has a very big upside. I don't know how that's going to sit.
He just looks great.
He does look great.
Big dude.
Yeah.
Frank Gradia, does WWE like Pete Dunne, and is he a priority like Adam Cole?
Yeah, I think so. I think they like him.
Nathan, at Best for Business 15, do you think Becky will return before the draft?
I'm going to take a guess, and I'm going to say yes.
Okay.
It's just a guess.
At Why You Stupid, there seems to be conflicting reports on Becky's return. You were told it was ASAP, while Mike Johnson and Meltzer have said they have been told it's September, October. Any update?
Yeah, I still was told any week. They have plans for her. They're just waiting for the right time.
At Backup Hangman, any discussions for a location change for NXT, both for general TV tapings and the upcoming takeover?
I don't know. I'm hearing rumors that they may do it in Vegas, the takeover. I think it's too. You know what? I don't believe Vegas. You know why? Everybody's bought their tickets to go home.
Yeah.
So, what are you going to do? You're going to have people. You know how people are going to scramble to cancel their flights. If you were going to try to piggyback a show in Vegas, then you would have definitely told people, like, hey, by the way, we're also doing NXT on Sunday.
Right.
So don't leave on Sunday. Leave Monday. I don't think it's going to be Vegas. I think they're probably just going to stay where they are.
We got 15 minutes.
Yep.
Bob Hazelwood, another $5. Thanks, Bob. I thought I heard somewhere that MLW was getting a distribution deal, or is that the result of Andrew's leftover edibles?
I don't know. Possibly.
This guy knows about your habitual usage of Flintstones vitamins.
I love my Flintstone vitamins. I don't know. I hope so. I don't know what the latest is. I'll follow up.
From Greg B on Twitter, any news on AEW's new deal with India? Other programming Warner Media is developing for AEW. There was a hiring ad for Warner Media to work with AEW. It mentioned that they were developing 4 new shows involving them. Do you have any insight on those shows?
I believe that hiring was like someone for storyboarding.
Okay.
I could be wrong if there was another one. I don't know the exact details for the India deal. Have you heard any updates on AWBR live situation? I think that's a great question because I asked 2 weeks ago about it. I know that Warner has a lot of hope in the future of HBO Max. HBO Max is, and it's done well. Their layout is really good.
Awesome.
The content is great. They don't have any live programming on there.
Right.
So unless they don't, you can't watch HBO Live on there. Let me see.
No, you can't.
You can't.
No.
So until they figure out the live programming thing, it's going to be on BR Live. But the reality is you don't really need BR Live. BR Live was a Band-Aid. They just didn't have a platform for them, and they own this property. So, and by the way, it works really well. The layout sucks, but it works. I don't have a lot of problems with the quality.
Yeah.
Frame rate looks good. The high definition looks good. The bit rate is fine. So I would anticipate that they would eventually move them. But I don't know when they're going to integrate, live content on there.
From Fight Me, $5 on the super chat. Thanks, bud. Do you expect AEW to be impacted by possible COVID restrictions on events? I'm worried about having Punk's debut delayed or done with no fans. Or at Dailies.
I would say no. I don't think they're going to delay it. I also don't I don't believe that we're going to have this lockdown thing once again. I think the worst case is going to be vaccine only for arenas.
Yeah.
They're not going to do it for tickets sold already. I don't anticipate that happening. I think, if it does happen, it's going to be whatever the next batch of tickets that go on sale, they're going to change the guidance. But
yeah.
For Arthur Ashe, by the way, that changed, right? For New York.
Yeah.
Because New York City instituted a new mandate as of September. I think, what is it, September 14th, September, something like that, where it's vaccine only for indoor, for everything.
Yeah.
So, listen, I think they're going to have a lot of issues implementing this. I think places like the Garden are going to be way better to implement this, but I don't think restaurants and bars are going to be able to implement this. Is it necessary? That's up to you to decide. I'm not going to even go down that road right now.
Tough stuff, man.
But I don't think there's going to be any kind of cancellations for events.
Yeah. At Druzy 007, do you think that Vince and WWE should take AEW more seriously?
Yeah, of course you should. But they should take everything. They I don't know what the hell's happening outside.
I think your kids are pit fighting each other.
I'm telling them. So My kids are pit fighting outside. Where were we? I'm so sorry.
It's fine. We're gonna do the live chat questions now.
Okay, but what did I miss here? Well, where was I? Where are we? Who are we?
You're talking about vaccine mandates.
Oh yeah. So I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Matt Reichel, any news on the mandates for AEW in Queens?
Yeah, you need a vaccine.
Yeah,
you need a vaccine. Well, it depends, right? So I believe they said that they're gonna do vaccine because if that. We'll find out the guidance. I put this out. Now I remember where I was, and I can't concentrate because I'm hearing this battle in front of.
Do you need to go yell at your kids right now?
I need to go yell at my kids. If it's an open building, I believe the U.S. Open is doing vaccine only. So if that is true, they'll have to do vaccine only. But right now, I don't know. We'll find out. I'll get all the information.
All right, we got 10 more minutes, guys. From Syed Talib. Why aren't they teasing Daniel Bryan? Is he not 100%?
Why is who not teasing Daniel Bryan?
I'm assuming AEW.
I don't know, but I could tell you that CM Punk is happening.
Well, they've been teasing the shit out of that.
No, but I spoke to someone.
Okay.
It's happened. I mean, they told me with certainty.
Do you know the when and the where?
Yes.
Are you allowed to say the when?
I'm not going to say the where and the where.
Sounds good. All right. Sean DeHart, how long before Dominic turns on his dad?
God, I hope he beats the crap out of him.
That'd be great.
You know what? I want Dominic to join Roman Reigns' family.
Ooh.
And be like, you're not my daddy. Roman is.
Roman's my poppy.
He's my poppy.
This is from Hothead 567. Could Triple H leave WWE within the next few years if his power within WWE and NXT continues to be diminished?
Say that again. I'm so sorry.
Could Triple H leave WWE within the next few years if his power within the company becomes
never going to happen?
All right. Mark L. When does Christian turn on Jungle Boy? That's a good program.
I don't think. I think they want to keep him as a hot baby face.
Okay. He'd be a great heel for that
because
company,
he's going to turn into more of a like a talent development role.
He'll be like Taz?
Maybe, yeah.
All right. Anthony, JCP, is Ronda bitter at WWE? This is a loaded one. Is Ronda bitter at WWE? First part.
I think Ronda was caught off guard on how the fans reacted to things that she would do.
Mm-hmm.
But she's also she really understands how to work people.
Right.
And whatever she puts out there, don't take it as her feeling. She's working people. She's doing what she does.
Looper's face is really bothering me right now.
Who is that?
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Oh.
I call him Looper.
Oh my God, it is he was. You know what? Somebody, I forgot who it was. Somebody said this joke. Stand-up comic. He said, the first time I saw Third Rock from the Sun, I had the biggest crush on that girl. And then he realized that it was a boy.
How good, this is also Anthony JCP, how good would the Andrade thing be if Eddie was still around and in the group?
Fantastic.
Yeah. What if Cole jumps to AEW and comes with Skrull to get Paige to start a new elite?
I don't the Skrull situation is very fascinating to me.
Do you think Brock cares about what's happening in WWE, or is it just about the money?
I think he does give a shit, yeah, because he doesn't want to be part of something that's considered failing.
Mm-hmm.
Or a bad idea. And I'm not saying WWE's failing, but I think perception is key here. I don't think Brock gives a shit about AEW.
We have one Callum 17 for 2 lira. Has Punk officially signed with AEW?
Possibly.
That's all you're going to get. That's all you're going to get from Andrew. Mark L. Think the biggest question out there will be, does all these budget cuts and changes to the look on the main roster and soon NXT clue us into a sale? I
mean, the sale rumors are running rampant, but it also could clue you in on the company refocusing on how their expenses are being done. Nick Khan came in as a CFO, right?
Right.
He's a financial guy. So his one job is to assess your financials, your P&Ls, and determine like, oh, okay, this is unnecessary. This is redundant. We don't need this. We don't need that. Okay, let's figure out, and we're going to cut our expenses to. And by the way, stock price plays a big part in this. This was a company that was almost at $100 a share.
Yes.
By the way, I do not own any WWE stock. Let me just say that before I go into this.
We're also not paid by the WWE.
I've never owned WWE stock. I don't hold any competitors' stock like UFC or anything with entertainment. But they're at $50. right now they are at a low. They're at a, I mean, let's see, year to date. Yeah, they hit $64 was the peak this year, around there. And now they're at $50. So, and this is far below, I believe their peak was what, 80 something bucks? $96. They never hit 100 in April 2019. So maybe this is to boost the stock to show, more expenses. It's a healthier company. You have a lot of money in the bank right now, for no pun intended. So there's a lot of moving parts here. It could be numerous reasons.
All right. Rated C, what are your thoughts on Jordan Grace talking about the Forbidden Door relationship?
Yeah, she posted, for people who don't know, that the Forbidden Door is not as open as people think. And that, it was, listen, she's trying to get herself over. I mean,
think so?
Listen, we also have to be a little realistic. Not everything is about you. I'm not saying for her, but I'm saying in general, maybe some things take time. Maybe she had a conversation. She wants to go there. And they said, no, I don't know. I think she's very talented. She has a very unique look. She's worked super, super hard.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on here?
Nothing.
Oh, I think you're looking at the
No.
Like, did it break?
I'll explain that face in a minute.
So I don't know. I don't know what her deal is. Listen, everybody's going to have an opinion on this.
Yeah, but
there is the Forbidden Door is open. That we've never. I mean, when is the last time we saw so many companies working together? So much synergy between multiple brands: NWA, Impact, New Japan, AEW. That's a lot of companies intertwining with talent.
It's pretty rocking. Yeah.
I don't know what the situation in Jordan Grace is, but I can tell you, it's a benefit.
Maybe it's who you know.
Maybe it is who you know. It always is who you know.
From Dandelion, are there no updates or plans for Scarlett Bordeaux? She was one of the hottest free agents when she signed, so probably got a nice deal, right? And yet has done nothing there.
She's managed the NXT champion. That's what she did.
But that's it. Let's see here. Beyond the Ring, any updates on Randy Orton? He's one of the highest paid guys. Would you see him be released?
I don't think Orton's one of those guys that they would want to release.
Imagine.
I mean, if they did, listen, I think here's the thing, right? If Randy Orton gets released, I would say there's something really weird happening in this company. He's one of their legends at this point. You're not going to let a guy like him go. Same thing with John Cena.
Right.
I don't expect to see John Cena on AEW or TV or Impact TV ever.
No.
He's a WWE guy.
Not at all. Plethora 1C, $4.99. Thank you again. Andrew.
Yes.
Give us a tease about this Fox WWE story. Is it bad news for WWE?
I don't want to go with it.
Are they in danger of getting kicked off Fox?
No. There's no danger of getting kicked off Fox. I don't know. I will say this. And I'm not saying that this has anything to do with Sean's story. Okay? Because I do know some rumblings. I don't know exactly what he's going to say. However, everybody has their own digital properties now, right? NBC has Peacock. Fox is working on really upping their digital property. You have to be a little considerate about the fact that, like, listen, we're sharing this commodity here, right? We're sharing it. It's not the NFL. The NFL's shared, but the NFL's in control here.
Yeah.
It's going to reach a point where, and we've seen this, where the networks are upset when certain things happen on one channel that pops the number and it doesn't happen on the other. John Cena is a great example on why John Cena's on both shows, to appease both networks. So I don't think WWE's not in danger of getting thrown off Fox. However, I would anticipate that once that Fox contract is over, Peacock is going to be very aggressive to gain control of SmackDown.
Oh, straight up.
Because it would all be under one umbrella. And that makes the most sense.
Well, absolutely.
I mean, for WWE, this makes the most sense because they've been able to triple and quadruple dip on their financials with their TV rights deals, not only with the WWE network going to Peacock, but also with Fox and SmackDown and NXT on USA, and along with Raw on USA. So
it's a lot of dipping.
It's a lot of dipping.
Kayfabe Kermack, $5. Thank you. Showing some love. I've been watching you guys since 2014 when I found you guys on the iHeartRadio app. I'm proud of you guys. Thank you, my Matt babies.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks,
Where
man.
was that? Oh, there we go. I just saw it. Thank you.
Yeah. That kind of got lost in the shuffle there.
Okay.
We're done with questions.
You know what? I'll do 5 more questions. You have a question, send them.
You want to do rapid fire, guys? We're gonna do 5 more questions. We'll do rapid fire, so just throw them in right now. I know there's a bit of a delay, but let's go for it, fellas.
By the way, Plethора's question was a good question.
Yes, it was a good
Very
question.
good question.
But people want the dirt.
I know, and I don't want to take anything away from something that I know.
A few people in the chat were also going, where just tell us about Daniel Bryan. Tell us about Daniel.
Okay, I'll tell you. I'm very confident Daniel Bryan's going to AEW.
Okay.
Very, very, very confident, and things have shifted around with their TV and stories to accommodate their signings.
Who's Anthony JCP? The name that jumps from AEW to WWE.
That's a phenomenal question. I've been thinking about this. I would say if you want like a big, I would say Hangman. You know, that would be a fantastic jump. I'm not saying he is, but I'm saying something that's like wow, like a wow thing. Mm-hmm. I would say Hangman. I don't see the Bucks. I don't see Kenny. I mean, obviously, those are like, oh my god. But
Miro comes back.
You might see Miro go back.
Yeah,
you might.
Jericho.
I don't know if he would at this point.
I think he
got taste of freedom, man. He got taste of doing whatever the hell you want, and it's difficult to go back.
But I think that will also like be an interesting thing going forward. Where like, what if he has his last match at WWE, goes into the Hall of Fame, and then that's it, storybook career.
He might want to do that. I don't
know. Let's see. What is Batista's net worth?
I have no idea. Millions.
Big Fred 88. What's up with the Sapphire Pool Party?
Oh, Sapphire Pool Party. Big announcement coming this week. We're going to have a special guest co-host. Big headliner. Big headliner.
That guy? Or this guy? Again.
Hey,
it's Fonzie. We're getting Henry Winkler. This is a comment, not a question.
You're going to jump the shark.
Bobby Dobert says, my fiance thinks your posture is amazing and wants to know what brand cherry you use.
My posture?
Yeah, probably yours.
Can I tell you why?
Why?
I'm going to tell you, this is a real deep Zarian track. It's not the chair. It's actually me.
Okay.
My father was a military guy, right? And if we slouched, because he was like a big workout bodybuilder guy, he always said posture sells everything. He would tell us to hold the broom handle like this, and we would do squats.
So child abuse.
Child abuse. Yeah. By the way, you know whose back is really bad?
Who?
Deacon.
Yeah,
you know what?
yeah.
I bet you Deacon never did that.
Is there any big names that you would put? Oh, we already answered this.
I also have a terrible back, so I have to constantly sit straight like this to release the pain.
Brandon Edwards, $5. Where does Biggie Cash in
fit in with Roman versus Rock?
Yeah.
I don't think Biggie's cashing in on that side.
No.
You know, remember, we got a draft coming, and I think Biggie's a big star to put on Raw.
Video fan. I heard AJ Lee may be coming to AEW. Any thoughts? I didn't hear that.
I didn't hear anything about AJ. I listen. I think you're going to hear AJ Lee's name for sure if with CM Punk going there. I'd like to see AJ Lee, but does she want to do it? I have no idea.
Did you guys see the prices for the meet and greets at SummerSlam? $150 for socially distant picture or $400 for Alexa Bliss for 2 minutes?
I know.
Jeez.
It's absurd. And you know what? They're going to get it.
Do they pocket that money?
Who? The talent?
Yeah.
No, there's a rev split.
Wow.
Listen, man.
Wild.
I know people think it's ridiculous and obscene, like really expensive.
Yeah.
Do you know how many people pay for stupid shit at this point online? All those OnlyFans accounts? I think WWE is very aware of pricing things at such a high price and getting it, and it works. So they're gonna get it.
Let's see what do we got here. My chat is. I gotta scroll down a little bit. Do you think the 6-man tag belts will be revealed at All Out?
The 6-man tag belts were supposed to be revealed on the Jericho cruise. That never happened last year. So I don't know what the plan is moving forward with that. I don't know when they release it. I definitely do think they need a 6-man title,
the
trios title, and I'll tell you why. And you tell me what you think, Rich.
Sure.
You got guys like Jungle Boy that's in a faction, right? That's a trio.
Great.
You got
Death Triangle.
Death Triangle. That's another trio. You can do Bucks and somebody. That's another Bucks and Kenny.
Bucks and
whatever.
Kenny. I think Mox, Kingston, and Darby is a great trio.
Okay, another great trio. I mean, you could
the Hardys.
The Hardy trio,
Private Party.
Yeah. That's another trio. So you could do trios, and I think it's like a fun thing to have that doesn't really affect any kind of stories.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's its own thing. It's independent. It's not going to, a trios title is not going to elevate you to the world championship. However, it's a fun belt to have on TV.
Yeah. Same thing with the FTW title.
And you know what? You have how many shows? Right? You have Rampage. You got Elevation, you got Dark, you got the main roster. Yeah. You got to put some sort of title match on these. Make it a main event match, and now you have a title match on TV every week for them.
That's pretty fantastic. Good idea.
Thank you.
Stone Cold asks, are the Randy Sacred Release rumors true to you?
You piece of crap.
You piece of crap. Basura.
Mm-hmm. Can you do a Stone Cold Hispanic rant?
It's tough because the voice, I feel like the voice turns into Javier Bardem.
Can you do I'm going to open up a can of whoop ass on you?
How do I say can of whoop ass in Spanish? I don't know. Something
about your culo?
Una lata de Kiko.
Kiko?
Listen, that's how I say it.
Yeah.
Jonathan
and you
Risk.
are Ecuadorian.
Yes. Jonathan Risk. Bro, I just canceled all my OnlyFans. I was paying close to $100 a month. Damn, Jonathan.
He's a horny boy. What do you want?
Horny Jonathan. Can we get Horny Jonathan shirts?
Oh, man. Horny Harry and Horny Jonathan and MG Geek. That's the trio right there.
Do you think Becky returns at SummerSlam?
I don't know when. I could just say, every time I ask, they're like, any day. Same guy.
Any day.
Listen, it's in the plans. She's coming. Let's see. What else?
Apex Forever. Punk and Bryan's first programs.
Okay, so people are alluding it's Darby. I don't know anything beyond what everybody else knows.
Mm-hmm.
There is a reason why Punk is showing.
Mm-hmm.
There is a reason why they're doing that show on that Friday from the United Center.
Okay.
All right.
Fair enough.
There's a reason.
Can I pop you for a minute?
Yeah. Pop me, Poppy.
Daniel Bryan.
Uh-huh.
Bryan Danielson.
Yeah.
Sting.
In a match.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I'd pop.
Right?
Yeah, I'd pop. I would love that. Wow. You know what's funny? There was moments that Impact had it.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
There were moments.
I'm like before what we have before us now.
Yeah.
Right? Like they had a good clip of like really cool shit at some point.
I find the Bronson Reed thing very interesting. I just want to say that.
Louis Lamberti, I love the Mattman suggestion last week, Punk and Danielson as a tag.
Dude, you know what?
Fantastic.
You could have that. You could have. You're gonna have two top baby faces with them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how are they looking with heels? Who are their heel opponents? Obviously, you know what I would do? Punk and Alistair, Punk and the Macabre Black, as I call him now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very into the Macabre.
I know you're an occultist.
I'm very fascinated by that stuff.
You're a cultist. You're an occultist.
Occultist and occultist.
And occultist.
I watched. You know what I watched yesterday? That cult documentary on that Japanese cult. The nerve gas bombings that they did in the Tokyo subways. Very interesting. I would do. You know what I would do? First match if I were to book it, I would do Macabre Black. That's what I would do. Malachi. I would do Malachi Black. I would do Malachi Black and CM and Daniel Bryan. I mean, the opportunities are endless, but everybody's pointing to Darby. I don't think it should be Darby and CM Punk. No. I don't think it should be because I don't think it's going to help either one of them. Right? How does that help Darby?
I think you have to. I think the genius of whatever you do has to be not letting the WWE, quote unquote WWE guys intermingle with each other too much. You know, so like Punk and Mox, you can't do. Punk and Jericho, I feel like, you know what I mean? Like, as much as I would love to see all these matches again, I think for the time being, it has to be fresh faced people. You know?
Yeah.
You know what I'd like? Punk and Miro.
You could do Punk and Miro.
That'd be fun.
You could do that. I mean, there's a ton of these. It's honestly, the possibilities are endless, and they have a really strong roster there. But whatever they do with Punk and Danielson, they're gonna have to elevate some other guys.
Do you want to do one more question?
Yeah, let's do one more.
Kayfabe Kermack, $2. Why has Balor not used the demon gimmick?
They want to use it sparingly and as a like, oh shit, final like a final solution to defeating their opponent. They don't want to use it as like, well, he just shows up every now and then. They want to use it for something like that, a special occasion.
Like that version of Balor is like the Cactus Jack.
The Cactus Jack.
Or the Painmaker.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
We're good on questions.
All right, we're good.
All right.
All right. What if it's Punk and Darby tagging that All Out?
I'm cool with that.
All right, that's cool too. He hasn't wrestled in 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
So, you gotta start prepping.
But he was probably bumping around.
Yeah. Well, I know he was using a ring in Chicago that sells T-shirts.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I could tell you that he's been working.
Very cool.
Is Punk wrestling on the 20th? I would not anticipate him wrestling on that show. On that 20th show.
You hear the music hit.
That's it.
He shows up.
And listen, and you build it. Now you build it.
Does this to somebody?
Yeah. And now you build the story.
He goes for the go to sleep, but he just goes to sleep.
Can you imagine? He just puts a little sleep cap on and just pillow and a blanket.
Punk versus Orange Cassidy. He sets Cassidy up for the go to sleep, puts him down, and then Punk just lays down and goes.
I
to
just
sleep.
want to see how pissed off he's gonna look at Orange Cassidy.
Oh, I can't wait! I can't wait for like all
annoyed Punk.
Annoyed Punk, yeah.
You know what would be interesting? How the fans perceive him now. That's what I'm curious about. How they're gonna perceive.
I think they're gonna fucking love it. They're gonna eat it all up.
Yeah, listen, man. I'm gonna eat it all up. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be in Chicago for All Out. You don't think I'm going to be singing along with Jericho? You know, I was thinking that somebody messaged me that. They're like, when you go to wrestling shows, do you get really into it? Or do you just sit there and like watch? And I'm like, I have to tell you, I hate watching wrestling like that if I'm at a show. I've done it like twice and I said I'll never do it again. And I don't care. I'll sing along. I'll do the whole thing now.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm a fan like everybody
Go
else
nuts.
at the end of the day.
We got to go nuts.
Of course I'm going to go nuts.
I'm going to put you on my shoulders, and then you're going to put me on your shoulders.
Oh, yeah.
And then you're going to put Joe Pearl on your shoulders.
And it was just one giant, and then...
Doomsday device.
Yeah. That's how we end it. You know what? That's what we're doing to you, Joe Pearl.
Yeah, we're coming for you, Joe Pearl.
Let me tell you something, Joe Pearl.
That's not a real name.
Joe Pearl. Bullshit name. Bullshit person. You know what I'm going to do?
Say something bad about Canada.
My wife tells me all the time, she goes, I don't understand why these guys, like, you're in a headlock? Just put your finger in their butt. They'll release it immediately.
NFL style,
you know what?
baby.
NFL style. Just grab a big butt cheek. Joe Pearl's getting a doomsday device for sure in Vegas. You know what? I'm going to chase him around Las Vegas like a fucking lunatic. Naked, nude, oiled up. I'm telling you, Joe Pearl, I'm coming. All right, guys, that's it. See you guys later. Take care.